Hello, my name is Manjot Kaur. Here I'm gonna present our presentation, that is case HAVMH 2004 SKQB34, and these are my teammates Kamalpreet Kaur, Jaskaran Singh, Jasprit Singh, and Nikhil Paryar, and myself Manjot. Firstly, let's talk about the case summary. HAVMS 2004 SKQB 34. The court name is Court of King's Bench for Saskatchewan, and the date that it is invented February 3rd, 2004, and citation 2004 SKQB 34, and it includes 28 pages, cited by 6 documents. HAVMH 2004 SKQB 34 defamation and battery are the two main legal issues at issue in the case HAVMH 2004 SKQB 34. The court had to decide if physical contact during a dance constituted battery and whether a letter issued by the defamant was defamatory. This case is important to tort law because it emphasizes important legal doctrines like defamation and defenses. The court considered whether the latter's statements were protected by qualified privilege or truth, as well as whether they were defamatory, battery, and intentional harm. The court considered whether the plaintiff's physical contact during a dance constituted purposeful and offensive touching, which is a crucial component of battery, as well as intentional harm. Damages under tort law, the decision addressed the various forms of recompense, such as general damages for humiliation and the necessity of punitive or aggravated damages. Under Canadian tort law, this case serves as an illustration of how courts strike a balance between personal rights, protection from bodily harm, and freedom of expression. Defamation claims further will be explained by my team partner.
Hi, I'm Jaskaran. So I'm here to discuss about the facts of a defamation case. First thing we have to know about what's the defamation. So defamation is a statement that injures a third party's reputation. So the first fact, this case involves a battery counterclaim and a defamation lawsuit. The defamation claim, the plaintiffs filed a defamation claiming that the defendant letter to a Taekwondo Canada damaged his reputation. Uh, the the court rejected the defamation claim, concluding that the truth and the privilege applied and that the statements were not legally defamatory. The another one is battery counterclaim. The defendant claimed that the plaintiff intentionally made some kind of a offensive physical contact while dancing. The but the plaintiff denied this, saying any contact was accidental and harmless. But the court had to decide whether the plaintiff actions meet some kind of legal definitions on battery, which requires intentional, harmful, or any offensive contact. So it's all depend on the court and on their decisions. So here we are to talk about the issues of defamation. So when a person say anything, any good words, but it goes in bad words. So we have also an example of a mother by the Professor Mark. So what are the issues of defamation? So first one, did the letter contain harmful statement about the plaintiff? Were the claims covered by qualified privilege or truth? The battery, did the plaintiff intentionally make offensive physical contact while dancing? Did the contact legally qualified as battery? All the damages. The next one was the court awards of $7,500 in general damage fair. The last thing they notice, the should punitive or aggravated damage being given for additional harm. So these are all the issues of defamation. Thank you.
Holdings. Defamation claim held dismissed. The court determined that the remarks were not actionable since they were deemed to be qualified, privileged, protected, and sufficiently truthful. Battery counterclaim. The defendant was successful in proving battery. The plaintiff's acts on the dance floor were deemed disrespectful and deliberate by the court. Damages. In order to compensate the defendant for the humiliation and indignity, the plaintiff was ordered to pay 7,500 in general damages, but the court refused to grant punitive or aggravative damages. Defamation claim. According to the reasonable members of society, a comment is defamatory if it damages someone's reputation. However, the truth completely protects against defamation. The claim was unsuccessful since the court determined that the later statements were essentially factual. Additionally, qualified privilege was applicable since the defendant has reasonable interest in making the statement in the context of letters transmissions to Taekwondo Canada. The privilege may have revoked due to the absence of evidence of malice. Battery counterclaim. Intentional damages or offensive touch is necessary for battery. The plaintiff made the legal requirement for battery because the court determined that her acts on the dance floor were insulting and deliberate, going beyond mere contact. Damages. An award of 7,500 in general damages was made to make up for embarrassment and indignity. Since the general damages were sufficient to cover the mental distress, aggravated damages were not granted. Additionally, punitive damages were not granted because, despite being improper, the plaintiff's actions were not severe enough to call for the punishment above and above monetary recompense.
Now I'm going to talk about some question answer part. So my first question is, what is a legal definition of defamation? Defamation refers to a false statement that harms an individual's reputation when shared with others. It can occur as a written or spoken. To establish this, the plaintiff must prove that the statement was publicly shared, harmful, and untrue about them. Defendants may defend themselves using truth or qualified privilege. So, my second question is, what is qualified privilege and how did it apply in this case? Qualified privilege safeguards statements made honestly and responsibly when the speaker has a justable reason to share the information. Here, the defendant had a valid interest in notifying Taekwondo Canada, and since there was no malicious intent, the court upheld qualified privilege and dismissed the defamation claim.
Hi, I am Jasprit Singh. I will tell you about the elements of battery in tort law. To establish battery, the plaintiff must prove the defendant intentionally made contact, the contact was harmful or offensive, the victim did not consent to the contact. In this case, the court determined that the plaintiff's action on the dance floor were deliberate and offensive, meeting the legal standard for battery. Now, coming to the conclusion, the case of HAV-MH demonstrates key principles in defamation and battery law. The court's ruling highlights the importance of truth and qualified privilege as defenses to defamation and reinforces the standard for intentional and offensive physical contact in battery claims. The damages awarded reflect the humiliation suffered by the defendant but stopped short of punitive or aggravative damages due to the circumstances. That's all about our presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.